A lot of people that in the house are doing so. Any TD or any county councillor on Cam would know this. About me. There's something really I never really addressed. And that is about my emotions. I'm very very bad at keeping my emotions in check and keeping my feelings in check because it's very very difficult. I do take I'm not gonna say to people I don't take things to heart. I do take things to heart. I might as well say straight. If somebody does call me a very upsetting name, I do take it to heart. I might not say it, but it does affect me. I do think about it afterwards. That's because I might as well say straight, I am sensitive of a person. I take things very, very to heart and I take things very, very serious. It's the same with anything. Anybody like today, for example, a woman came to me about a sign, and long story short, she was it's a driveway. She was coming out of her house, a driveway, and there's a sign. This say this length of a sign. Not that it wouldn't be. It's a lot bigger than what I'm talking about. I suppose the size of the door from the down to the bottom. I suppose. Big GEA sign. About the club. Whatever, opening up again or whatever it was. And she was like, I nearly have to go out on the road with my car. I nearly have to, go onto the road and put myself in danger. And that's just one example. And, I took that very much to heart because I was afraid if we left it there any longer, that sign, if we let it stay there any longer, somebody will be killed. And I was very concerned about that and I was upset about it. And that's just one of many things. That's just an example. I do take things very much to heart. And people do say, that generally shows that I really, really am very worried about things and I'm very concerned. And it does stay on my mind. Things like that does stay on my mind if I don't get things like that sorted. Like, there's things still going on at the moment. Like with illegal dumping, there's some areas with illegal dumping. There's one area way out the road, good nearly 78 miles out the road, and I can't do anything. I might as well say so straight. I can't do anything because it's just so much rubbish there, and it's pointless. And I went told many times to county councillors, and so at the end of the day, they're just more or less what they're saying. It's going to cost too much money to clean it up. That's really what I'm getting, and it hurts me inside to say that I can't, and say to the people around that area, I can't do anything. And I done my best. I really really did my best, and even they know themselves. I did my best. I went to nearly every Tom, Dick and Harry in the council to say, please, could you do something? I begged them at one stage to do it. And they did, in fairness, they did take a few bits of rubbish out of it. They didn't take everything, they took bits of it. Which is, it's just a small bit done, which at the end of the day, and they said it wasn't my fault because I done everything in my power to do it. But at the same time, it did, and inside me, still to this day, that is still, this area still is a bit of a mess. And there's nothing it's not, if I had a fan or anything like that, I'd go out and I'd lift everything and I'd throw it into the fan to get rid of it. But it's just because I rely on my feet. And that, that's something that generally does go and does affect me. You might not see it, but I am, and many of my friends, many people that go to school with me would say straight that I am very, very sensitive person. And I take things extremely to heart. And people might say that is a very, it is a very good thing to have, to openly say it and, to say it straight to people. That you would take things to heart and that you do find things upsetting. And when I can see it, like sometimes, like you can see in my videos, and I can see it myself. Sometimes I'm on the verge of anger, absolutely anger, and I try and calm myself down, and it's hard to. It's hard to because I always try and be nice to people. And I always try and be helpful to people. I always try and be above all else honest to people about everything. And it's very, very hard to explain it in words. But it's difficult. It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. Like, as I said, many county councillors and TDs will know that because I'm very, very emotional if something's not done. When I'm talking about something that will affect a community like that issue with illegal dumping there. That is not nice to live beside. And and it does hurt me. And even when I'm speaking of it, I can feel the pain of speaking of it, because it is very something that is still in my heart, and it's something that I really would want something done about, and that I really do want to do something, and I really am very determined that someday I will do something about it. Even if the council don't do it, I definitely someday will pay some people to do it, or we do something to do something about it, because it's just, it does hurt me, and I do feel for the people that live around, because they say it's just, rubbish upon rubbish, watts upon watts and watts and watts, and then I see myself, there's watts and watts and watts and watts, because it's beside the river too, and it's just full of watts, and it's just disgusting to see that, and they're throwing it into the river too, and it's like, it honestly just breaks my heart to see that, because I want to do what I can for the environment. I want to do what I can to do with illegal dumping. And it hurts me to say to them people, I can't walk 8 kilometres with 6 or 7 bags of rubbish and go back and forward, trying to bring them back to, back to the headquarters, the Buddhist Tiny Town's headquarters. And that's just putting in perspective. And these people know themselves that live in the area that I want to. I'm desperate to do something about it. I really, really want to do something about it. But it's not like it. Like, honestly, I've done everything I could, and the council went out done a bit, which I will give them credit. They've done a bit of it. But it's just far too much. There's a lot of rubbish there. Probably, people might say how many bags would it take to fill up everything. I say good 60. If you count the stuff in the river, and you probably could get at it now because the river has dried up a good bit. But it could be 60 bags, and that's how bad that area is. Because there's just so much. It's been a dumping site for the last 5 or 6 years, and this is way outside Buddhist Bridge. This is not really to do with the Buddhist Bridge Tidy Towns at all. But it's just about, and this is the thing, I want to try and help, outside. I want to do more, I want to do my extra bit. And I do my best. I really, really do my best on that road. And it does hurt me, because just putting it, saying, and even anybody in my class and in my school would say that I am extremely, extremely sensitive. And I will admit it. I'm not going to lie to people. I would say it straight. Mauser says I'm not going to lie to people and say, I'm not. For a long time I might have not said it, but I have to admit it. And many people like many county councillors in Cavan Town about Public Constituency would say it too, that I am very emotional. I'm very, I might not say it. If somebody said something very annoying to me, like that time somebody came up to me, and I've done very well to keep my composure and keep from getting upset and everything, and started saying I shouldn't have been born and everything like that because I was dyslexic. That hurt me. They listened to them for 10 minutes, go on and on and on and on, how much of a disgrace you are to be walking on this planet. Still to this day, that hurts me. That hurts me. I might as well say straight. Still to this day, I can remember everything they said. And the only thing I said to them back, the only thing I said, why? Just why will you have such anger for somebody who has no control over who he is? That's as simple as that. Couldn't say anything else. So there's nothing else to say. Listen to 10 minutes of it was abuse. It was borderline abuse. You can see it there, because I'm just thinking back to what they said, because that's not even half of what they said. And I'm not even going to utter the things of what they said, because it was just so upsetting. And then again, you can see my emotions. You can see it happening, because I'm just, I'm upset. Like, even thinking about that, it upsets me and it annoys me. Still to this day that happened, and that I sat there and listened to it. But, that's what I have to do as a politician. You have to, and a political activist, you have to listen to people. And, he was entitled to say what he had to say. It was free speech. He's entitled to his opinion. But, it was very harsh, and if that was me, I wouldn't have said it. Simple as that. I wouldn't have said it to anybody. I wouldn't bring myself down to that level to say it. But yeah, I'm just a very emotional. I might as well say straight, I'm just an extremely emotional person. You can see it. Every time you can see it, that when I'm talking about things that really, really do affect people, and do affect, people that I don't even know. Like yesterday, I talked about the poor boy in Cork. And you could see that I was heartbreaking, because this fellow was really about the same age as me. And I'm thinking to myself, that could happen. That could happen to me. That could happen to anybody. And you feel for the family, you feel for that poor boy. And there's no words to describe what happened to him. There's just no words to describe what happened to him. There's just nothing to be said. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see the video. It's heartbreaking to see somebody do that to a human being. Like, there's just no words. And it is hard. And we're not lying to people, that's something that, I probably would never, ever kind of, I can recover from depression, I can recover from anxiety, things like that. But I can't recover from my emotions. I tried and I tried for years to try and keep my emotions intact. But at the same time, it's hard when you remember all these things and when, things cold effects happen. Like that video of that young lad, I can still see it replaying in my mind. And it's very, very harsh. It's very, very harsh because just I keep seeing it and I keep seeing it in my mind. And you can't get it out of your mind. And that's something that I have to keep repeating in my mind and in my mind and my mind again and again because that's how much of an impact it has on me. Things like that. I know you just can't forget. And that's what's wrong with my mind. I just can't forget things and I can't I remember negative things more than I remember the good times, but I do remember good times, but the negative things really do upset me. And it's just my emotions. And everybody in my class would really come on and say, oh, my school would, and every teacher probably had over the years would say that my emotions, because I'm dyslexic too, it doesn't help, with people, hurting your feelings. They say words can, words are just words. But words to me, if you went and hit me in the head with a brick, I'd rather that than somebody say something really, really nasty to me that would really stick in my heart and in my soul and just tear at me. Like, that's even worse again, just tearing at you over time. And I wouldn't wish them a worst enemy. Like, things do tear at me. And still to this day, what that person said about me dyslexic and what he said about me and what he said about dyslexic people in general, that's still to this day hurts me. And that's why I don't, and I say it straight, people who don't like dyslexic people, that's, I have no time in hell to listen to them, and I have no time and I have no respect for, and above all, like, if you hear me saying something, I have no respect for them people who hate people that are dyslexic. Then that they cross line. People know that I have the highest respect for every human being on the earth, and I will give them every time to listen to them. But people like that, after what happened to me that time, that hurt, and I will say that really did hurt. And my friends would say it themselves because I talked to them about it. I expressed so many times when I was depressed, when I was upset about it. When I went and talked to my friends, my best friends and everything, I said, this has hurt me. Even to 2 or 3 politicians, I said to them, that it was getting me down and was upsetting me. But, we live and we learn. But my emotions, and I will say it just straight to people, it's hard. It's hard to keep it in check. I'm just extremely emotional person. Might as well just say it straight. And that's something that's not really good for a politician. And that's really simple. I can't put it any simpler than that. But at the other side of it too, people say that you genuinely do care. That's something that's true. I generally, every case that I talk about, anything that I talk about on my channel, I care. I care. Because I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't say anything about it. But if it's something that really, really just pushes me forward to talk about it, I do care. Like, you can see about the League of Dublin, like that, what I'm talking about the League of Dublin, I keep talking about it. It's something that I do care for, and it's something that I do have a passion for. And it's something that, I really, really want something done in Cavan and across Ireland about it. Because it's something that, I see every day of the week. It's something that you have to deal with every day of the week in my life. And, and to see people think that it's just normal, that hurts you. That hurts you because all your hard work and all the effort you put in, and I don't mean to blow my own trumpet, but you do your best. You do your best with the resources you have, which is obviously very little. Obviously, I'm not, I don't have a fan or anything. If I had a fan, it would be mighty work I'd be doing. But, you can only do your best, and that's all you can do. But just saying about my emotions again, and people can laugh at me if they want about my emotions, but I'm, it takes guts. It does take guts to admit it. And, I'm, for a long time I might have pushed under the cap and said, I'm not an emotional person, but I am. You can see it in my videos. You can see it that sometimes I just, have a tear in my eye because I'm just so upset about the issue. And it's just some things are very, very upsetting, and life is just very, very difficult, and life is hard for somebody that is dyslexic and somebody that takes things to heart. And I will, and everybody that knows me knows it straight that I do take things to heart. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'm sorry for acting on. So yeah, thank you.